afternoon and good evening to ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. My name is Bening Sukmagati, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for the event. In conjunction with the important event of UNESCO World Conference on Cultural Policies, Mondiacult2022. We are RWYC Indonesia for and on behalf of RWYC Asia and RWYC International, also supported by Chakra Cultural Foundation, hold a ResiliArt debate with the focus subject is awakening culture awareness to the younger generation. Our seminar is under the theme number 5 of ResiliArt debate guidance, which is professional training and interdisciplinary education for a flourishing, inclusive culture sector. Reconnecting with your culture, or known as RWYC, is an international pedagogical project promoted by the EDA International Research Center ISAMPI, the Architect Lab, and UNESCO University and Heritage. Initiated in 2020 by Professor Olimpia Niglio. The vision of RWYC is to pursue the quality education objectives of the UN 2030 Agenda. Now, RWYC network covers more than 20 countries in 4 continents and continues to disseminate to more countries in coming years. The seminar consists of the 4 panelists, each question tailored to each panelist from the moderator. The public question and answer section will be carried out after the debate of 4 questions is answered by all panelists. Please write your questions on the chat room during or after discussion. Before we started the seminar, let me introduce to all of you our moderator and all the panelists. Professor Olimpia Niglio from Italy as moderator. Professor Rana P.B. Singh from India as our first panelist. Professor Aditi Misra from India as our second panelist. D. Paul Schafer from Canada as our third panelist. The last is Dr. Mira Sartika from Indonesia as our fourth panelist. I handed down the seminar to our moderator, Professor Olimpia Niglio, to conduct this ResiliArt debate. Please, Professor, the stage is yours now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, good evening in the world. The first International Congress, Mondial Culture, took place in Mexico City in July 1922. And on this occasion was published an important declaration that introduced 2 important concepts, culture and community. After 15 years from this first Congress, now the international community is working to promote the second Mondial Culture in Mexico City, opening important reflection on the significance that culture and community have in our daily. Since July 2020, our international pedagogical program, Connecting with Your Culture, in dialogue with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, promoted by the 2030 Agenda, opened important reflection on the role of the local communities and like they play an important commitment for sustainability work. However, today, to put again at the center of our action this binomial among culture and the community. We must reflect together of the role of the education and to work for our new humanism. We must start a new path that allows us to know the real needs of the local communities and to approach the younger generation to essential values of life. So, to realize this new path, the pedagogical program Reconnecting with Your Culture, with his vision, mission, intended to awake to prepare the future generation to the global understanding, human service, and preserving our cultural heritage in the cosmic frame of nature-culture interface through the quality and the deep ecology through the education and dialogues. A humanistic march reappraising internet between locality and universality. The COVID-19 pandemic has starkly exposed the shared vulnerability of countries in facing emergency situations, while continuing to provide basic service and at the same time ensuring social and economic sustainability. In this context, the cultural sector are affected with a spread, the eruption, bringing on the forefront the urgent need for adaptation of the sector within the broad public policies spectrum. And Science 2020, in a special context, we started our mission in the world to reinforce education, culture, and community. Today, the question proposed by our special speaker help us to understand the value of the Mexico Declaration 1922. But also, like today, we must actualize this international declaration with the new suggestions and support from many countries of the world. Now, I thank everyone, and I invite every speaker to present itself and to start today's presentation with the question. After, we are delighted to share with the whole participants in this international seminar the main issue of the ResiliArt debate. And now let me thank also ResiliArt UNESCO for this important opportunity. I will be a great honor to share this reflection in the Mondial Culture in Mexico City next September. Thank you very much for your attention. And now let me start with the first questions proposed by Dr. Mira Sartika, our president, Reconnecting with Your Culture. Please, Mira, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Olimpia. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the participants and all the panelists. I will go direct to our question to start this seminar. The first question is, please, the cue card. This is the question proposed by me. From the vast and complex definition of culture, we should construe what is the best definition that we have to tell children about culture in the first place, so they can easily relate culture to the complexity of its realm later on throughout their life. I'm going to share my presentation, short presentation actually, because I want to participant and all panelists see how we construe and from what declaration we construe. I will start my presentation. Just wait a little. Okay. This is my presentation. Yeah. The first question, and I will take the culture definition firstly from Mexico City Declaration of Culture Policy, of course. The culture known as whole complex of distinctive spiritual, material, and intellectual and characterize emotional feature that characterize a society or social group. Furthermore, also stated in the Mexico City Declaration, it is culture that makes us specifically human, rational beings endowed with a critical judgment and a sense of moral commitment. I think the word a sense of moral commitment is very important and will be construed later on. The second I took from the International Declaration is Universal Declaration on Cultural Diversity 2001. Culture defines the set of distinctive spiritual, material, intellectual, and emotional feature of the society or a social group, and that it encompasses, in addition to art and literature, the lifestyle way of living together, value system, tradition, and belief. I think this is so complex, and this is from international declaration, both from international declaration. I think before we continue, as mandated, I want to see the word culture according to Bahasa Indonesia, or because in accordance with the article number 33 in Mexico City Declaration of Cultural Policies, which is stated that it is necessary to encourage the use of national language to communicate knowledge. That's why here I try to see the definition of culture from Bahasa Indonesia, from my local language. Understanding of culture, according to experts in Indonesia in general, culture or budaya comes from the Sanskrit language, namely budaya, which is the plural form of budi. Budi known as consciousness, intellectual, or reason. So culture defined as matters relating to the mind, intellectual, and human reason here in Indonesia. Budi, also known, is a set of cognitive abilities that enable consciousness, perception, judgment, and memory in humans and other organisms. Thus, culture in Indonesia known is the result of human creativity, quite a little bit different, but in the same sense with the International Declaration, sense and initiative in meeting the complex needs of life, which includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, customary, law, as well as every skill and habit. Another one, according to the Indonesian dictionary, there is 2 points about culture, about budaya, the result of activities and the creation of the human mind, such as belief, art, and custom. Number 2, this is a little bit different with the International Declaration. Between the overall culture, between the overall knowledge of humans as social beings that are used to understand the environment and their experiences and which guide their behavior. Thus, from both local, from Bahasa Indonesia and International Declaration, I will construe focus point. But before that, I think I want to share a little bit the list of scholars and statesmen in Indonesia who define the word budaya from time to time. So actually in Indonesia, the word budaya is from time to time being construed by many scholars and statesmen like Kunchara Ningrat, anthropologists, former Minister of National Education. These are the prominent people that try to define the word budaya from time to time, including me in 2012. So my focus point about definition of culture is the 2 things. Budaya is daya dari budi, or the power of budi, like we said before. The power of the budi that produces intention, creativity, and sense, and give birth to various products, tangible and intangible. Budi is nothing but what makes us specifically human, rational being, endowed with critical judgment and a sense of moral commitment. So budaya and budi always engage with a sense of moral commitment, as explained previously in Mexico City Declaration. Furthermore, Mexico City Declaration also stated clearly, it is culture that we discern values and make choices. It is through culture that man expresses himself, becomes aware of himself, recognizes his incompleteness, questions his own achievement, seeks untiringly for new meanings, and creates works through which he transcends its limitation. This is stated clearly in Mexico City Declaration, and this is the best statement about what we call self-consciousness is all about. Our self-consciousness that we discern values and make choices. Our self-consciousness that man expresses himself, become aware of ourselves and recognize our incompleteness. Thus, for me, the culture definition starts from the power of Buddhi, or the power of self-consciousness. The second focus point is become a characteristic of a community or group. Become behavior guide of community in certain or dedicated environment. Because the power of Buddhi, our self-consciousness, is toward the environment that creates cultural diversity. Our adaptation to different environment that create cultural diversity and pass down from one generation to another generation. This will be close connection between culture and gene coevolution later on. Thus, in other words, it characterizes a society or a social group. So definition of culture from me is the power of Buddhi and become a characteristic of a community or a group toward environment. This is the apprehension. My conclusion about culture definition. Culture is the self-consciousness that what makes us specifically human, rational being, endowed with a critical judgment and a sense of moral commitment used to understand the environment. Dance result in and gave birth to human creativity, sense, initiative in meeting the complex needs of life, which includes knowledge, belief, art, moral, customary law, as well as every skill and habit that characterize society or social group. Thus, for me, this is the new apprehension, and that's it for me. Thank you, Professor Olimpia. I handed that back to you, to the next panelist. Thank you. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Mira, because we understand a new opportunity about the culture in different territory, in different sites.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you. And now I invite our second speaker with the second question. And I invite Professor Aditi Mirza. Aditi.
Yes, I'm
Thank
here.
you very much for your presence. Please.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to RWYC and Dr. Olimpia Niglio for organizing such dialogues, and of course to Mira for ensuring that we are all together in discussing this very important aspect of life, as we call it. Mira has very beautifully explained how culture is not just about music and dance. Culture is everything about us. It's the way we speak. It's the way we behave with our fellow beings. It's how we eat. It's what we eat, what we read. So I have, as an educator, I have a couple of things which I want to share with your permission. Oops. Can I share my screen and just show a brief presentation which I have? As an educator, of course, I have had great pleasure in helping children reach where they have to reach, because I think it is schools, it is families that have to work together to ensure that cultural awareness and cultural education is highlighted among all the children. So this is one of the quotes which I had sent to Olimpia many months ago, that together we hope to build a better future with kindness, harmony, empathy, and peace. Can you all see my presentation? Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
We can see it.
Okay.
Yes.
So culture, as Mira also said, culture can be defined as all the ways of life, including arts, beliefs, and institutions of a population that are passed down from generation to generation. Earlier, this passing on was through families. Now I find schools are also getting into this act of cultural propagation from generation to generation. Culture has been called the way of life for an entire society. As such, it includes codes of manners, dress, language, religion, rituals, art, norms of behavior, such as law and morality, and systems of belief. So I don't think there is any aspect of life which we can say is not connected with culture. Poetry, painting, photography, music, dance can all tell stories across cultural barriers. And as we have been working with RWYC, we find so much of commonality between the cultures of every country that sometimes I do believe that we are a global village, all belonging to this one beautiful, great family of humanity. and are not just divided according to borders. Such day-to-day narratives engage people and start conversations around culture. Practicing all these skills is about making creative choices, even if the outcome is not known, and that is what resilience is all about. We stand tall, we stand together. So here are some visuals I have from the primary school which I look after. This is from the age of 3 to 7. And I think all research has shown that whatever you can teach a child from the age of 3 to the age of 7 is what stays with them all their lives. And I think this age, therefore, for me as an educator, as a mother, becomes very important to teach them various skills, values, and cultural traditions which will hold them in good stead. For example, in this picture that you see me holding a lot of children, and on the background, you can see a beautiful mural. That mural, dear viewers, is made up of only waste material. You know, waste bottle caps, paint caps, crayons. So we have taught the children, you know, in all our ancient cultures, there was a lot of sort of passing on, recycling. You know, the one of the SDGs is all about recycling, reusing, reducing. And that has been part of all ancient cultures. So one very important aspect of culture, which we want to tell the children, is about recycling whatever you can. Respecting nature. Here we have little children planting small seeds, nurturing plants. Even during the pandemic, we used to tell them that you have a little balcony, look after a plant, show the picture to your classmates, show the picture to your ma'am, so that we can all clap for whatever plant you have grown. Building bonds, working together. You know, collaboration is talked about so much. So working at things together and really not having the idea of competition all the time. That, you know, I have to be the best. Why not everyone work together and create something beautiful? Celebrating diversity, something again which we, I don't like the word tolerance, for example. When people say, no, we are very tolerant. Tolerant means that you're just about tolerating somebody. For me, a more important word, and I think for all educators, is we have to celebrate this difference. If all of us were the same, the world would be a very boring place. But we are all different, we look different, we talk different, we eat different. And I think it's time for us to celebrate that difference and teach the children to respect that difference. So as very young children, we teach them different songs from different festivals. As you all know, India is a land of great diversity, different kinds of dresses, different kinds of languages and foods. So this is introduced to the children at a very young age so that they grow up not just knowing about these, but also enjoying these differences. Nurturing gratitude, again, an aspect of culture which sometimes I think we tend to forget, and a lot of times we end up complaining about things that have not happened, especially in the pandemic, you know, that I haven't been able to step out, I haven't traveled, I haven't gone shopping. And we reminded the children to be grateful for what they have. They have a home, they have a roof over their head, they have loving parents, they have good food, they have television, they have books, they have crayons, they have so much that they have to be grateful for. So as you can see here, this is a very beautiful gratitude box which we created. And we asked the families to every day write one thing that they're grateful for. And on Sunday, open up these little chits and see how much there is to be grateful for in all that we have. Here is another, a sort of a global program that we do. It's called Peace Whispers by the young children, where they learn about the culture and the traditions, not just of India, but from across the world. So they learn a little bit of Italian, they learn a little bit of Korean, a little bit of Japanese, and they try to say some words or some greetings with these words. The idea being that the world has to come together to celebrate and to rise together. I mean, we can't let differences constantly divide us. And of course, again, the more physical form of culture through our music and our dance, where the children have learned the dance forms from across the country and are performing them for their parents. Through the art, again, lot of cultural diversity coming in, different kind of celebrations. Again, not saying that which is better, which is worse. Any art, any cultural tradition is good because it teaches us something good. We now move to the junior school, which is the next age group from the age of 8 to 10. They are a little more grown up now, but remember, they have not forgotten these very important lessons of nurturing nature. So here we have a group of children who are part of our inclusive classes. They are children with some special needs, and all of them look after the plants which have been planted outside of the school building. They've learned to collaborate. So a lot of artwork is done in collaboration. A lot of functions are done in collaboration. You can see a painting being made, which is done with collaboration. So again, you know, when many years ago, many years ago, when societies were formed, one of the first things man learned was to collaborate together. A very important aspect of culture, to work together. You cannot do anything alone. So that lesson, if it's taught to children, if it is shown to children that collaboration works better than solo work, they learn that and they respect that as well. Here they're being taught how to work together to create a little program. And when everyone works together at the music, at the dance, at the choreography, then you make a beautiful change coming together. Again, celebrations of life with colors and joy, everyone working together to create beautiful masterpieces. And also the very important message that our true nationality is mankind. You have to be grateful for being given a life that can bring about change. That is the one thing that differentiates humans from other species, is that we have the capacity to initiate and transform the world. Lessons on unity as part of the cultural narrative in the school is a very important strength, and I think most schools do this across the world. Widening the mind and spirit through different cultural celebrations, again respecting different cultures and showing the children, indicating to them that eventually joy comes from the fact that you work together. Planting trees for a sustainable future. You can see all the children across, they've gone across the city, within the school, outside the school, planting trees, and not just planting them, making sure that they're looked after also, ensuring that, you know, they are watered and they're given enough manure so that they thrive. This is a very interesting project which we did, which I'll come to the end. In the end, this mask making has become a sort of a cultural tradition from the last 2 years only. As you all know, the mask has become a very important part of our attire. I am carrying a mask all the time because you have to stay safe, whether it's Corona, Delta, or it's Omicron. The only thing which is saving us is this mask. So I'm coming to a video in the end. I just wanted to indicate it here that this was also done by the junior school. We now come to the middle school, which is 11 to 13-year-olds, more development. And now the challenge for all of us educators is that now they are exposed to media. They watch TV, they watch movies, which may not always translate culture the way we want to. So our effort is multiplied at this stage to keep reminding them that you have to remember your own indigenous art. So we are integrating art in all forms of academics also, whether they're learning maths or social science or science. A lot of art is integrated so that they learn with joy, and at the same time, they're learning something about art as well. A lot of research is initiated through computers, through robotics. And again, as you can see in the pictures, the children are working together. We are trying to mitigate this culture of competition all the time. I appreciate when children can work together and create something new. The final years of school, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, when they're about to leave for college at the age of 17, 18, are the most challenging again, because now along with social media comes peer pressure. So what the other person is doing becomes more important than what you have been taught. So again, the effort from us is to reach out to the less privileged, to help those who are coming from very poor backgrounds, or to help people who have special needs. And it gives me a lot of joy that all these initiatives have been welcomed by senior children, and they have become successful because children have worked at them. I'm now coming to the last bit. This is a 2-3 minute video where I want to show about mask making by junior school children. Is the video visible?
No, Aditi. Now, at this moment, no.
Okay. Oh, it's just going round and round. It's going to start playing now. Yes. Is it audible?
No. We cannot look.
But just read the bits.
We cannot watch the video.
You cannot hear it?
No.
No, nothing. Is just
No.
first
No,
scene,
we
that's
cannot.
all.
Okay. Sapna, any idea why this is happening?
Aditi, if you want, let's share with us the link in the chat.
We can share the link in the chat, ma'am.
Okay,
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation with just one thought as a school leader, as a school educator, that the effort has to be a concerted one by all schools to come together and teach the children the values that come with this culture. Not just the culture, they must understand why we are being taught something. And I think if we work together, then the negative influences sometimes of too much of social media or too much of television or too much of films is going to be balanced out. But we all have to work together and we cannot give up on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you so much. Your presentation was very important to understand the different experience realized in our school in the world. And I thank you very much because it is very important to share also with other country and other school this experience, and also to learn from you and also from other students in the world. Thank you so much. And now we continue with the 30 questions from Paul Schafer, but he cannot join us today for the different complicated hour now in Canada. But I am very happy because we can share this question with our ambassador, Benining. Thank you so much, Benining.
Okay. Okay, as he cannot join us today, Paul Schafer conveys a message for us to read. During this debate, I will read his message regarding every question. Now, I will read his message on the question number 1 as follows: 2 main definitions and manifestations of culture. While many definitions and manifestations of culture have been advanced over the course of history and are in active use throughout the world today, they can all be boiled down to 2 main definitions and manifestations in the final analysis, as documented in detail in my book, The World as Culture. The first is culture as part of something larger, such as the arts, humanities, heritage of history, cultural industries, and several other activities. This is the one most people are familiar with, and governments, corporations, foundations, and private benefactors use for funding purposes and developing the cultural plans and policies. The second one is culture as a complex whole or total way of life, of human beings, other species, all interactions that occur in the natural environment, and mythology, worldview, and cosmology. Both definitions and manifestations have been endorsed by UNESCO, the first in its early years and still often today, and the second at the World Conference on Cultural Policies in Mexico City in 1982. These two definitions and manifestations are intimately connected and are of vital importance to the present and the future. The first as a principal gateway to the second one, and the second one for its holistic character and all-inclusive potential. Message from Paul on the question number 2 as follows. Shift to the holistic understanding of culture. A major shift is taking This is largely due to the growing realizations that what is most needed in the world at the present is systemic rather than piecemeal change if humanity is to be successful in coming to grips with the environmental crisis COVID-19 and its many variants, huge disparities in income and wealth, conflicts between different groups, races, countries, and civilizations, and the intermingling of people with very different worldviews, values, beliefs, customs, and ways of life. How often have we heard the term change the culture used over the last 2 years? People are talking about this in all parts of the world, as are governments, corporations, international organizations, educational institutions, and countless others. There's a growing realization that culture is the change agent that is most required in the world today. Okay, Olimpia, you can continue.
Okay, Benny, thank you very much. But now, after you continue with the question with the Rana, I invite you to discuss with us about the questions that we have proposed at now. It's possible to you to reflect with us questions by Mira and Aditi.
Thank you very much. Can you listen me? I am audible. Can you listen me? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir. We listen to you.
Yes.
Okay. So let me start with Indonesia. Okay, Mira. And yesterday I have already explained the basic meaning of the word Mira in the Sanskrit literature. That a lovely divine girl giving message to the whole world through the sweet music. That is the basic meaning. I think this whole program is linked the name Mira. So that is the first thing. Thank you very much, and namaste to you and everybody.
Thank you, sir.
So you have cited the word. So let me reflect on these three things. The first thing is that you have mentioned the word buddhya. Okay, and when you have linked with the mind concept, it is very rich and strong in our culture if you can go historical route. So the word is buddhi, which is transferred in 11th century in Indonesia. Okay?
Correct.
And the same thing, Lord Buddha, that is not his original name. Buddha, who has enlightened the mind, that is called Buddha. And therefore, in local tradition, when we meet some old lady, especially let me cite example of my own grandmother, who died at the age of 125. So whenever we ask, what is your name? She always used to say, I never remember my name, but I know what people say to me. Then we ask, what is that? Buddhaya. So this is the way that one side you go to intellectual tradition, and when you are trying to link different culture to the root of the ancient culture, and then traditions, what is going on, you find beautiful way to understand, exchange, and have good relations. So the two words, Buddhaya, okay? Buddh, that has mind, wisdom, and exposition. You express it. You have inner side love, but you never express. And what is the meaning of it? Okay, so that exposition is also. And ya means it is going on, going on, going on. There is nothing like past, there's nothing like future, going on, going on, going on. Okay, this way we have a lot of such verses, and in some of my writings are metaphysical writing about these things, Gaia theory, etc. I have written this thing. The one thing is missing here, the word adapted from English literature, which is very good fitting what Mira has explained, that if your mind is not clear, if you are confused, if you are on the double track, if you are thinking something and doing something else, you are preaching something and never trying to feel that what you have to do, then there will be a gap. And the word is that is used in philosophy, clairvoyance, clear thought that we have to do. And then comes two other words that is linked to even Aditi, and based on, she has done all these practical things. I am talking more theoretical linking to Mira. So 10 steps, the way all applied things she has taught. So now the two words are very important. If you follow, I will show in my slides later on quickly. The first thing is what you call awaken. Really you feel it or not? Are only discussing and talking. The first thing is what we call feel it, awaken. And we have the word swachetana. It means your heart, mind, and all thought just coming up for others. The word in Sanskrit, swachetana. Okay? So that is the word. And then comes second thing is that after having awakeness, then you have to awaken yourself for the work. What Gandhi, the father of our nation, always used to say, that if you are talking something, no use. Let's talk, actually you go and do. And that's why at the end of his life, the question was asked, okay, Mahatma, he was known as Mahatma, the great soul. Mahatma ji, what is your one-line message to the whole world? And he said, simple word, my life is message. Because he never talked theoretically. You are neither philosopher, neither politician, neither activist, nothing. Everything you are doing practical. So the thing when we are trying about Buddha, then that can be linked with the ancient culture from India, that how the 9th, 10th century it gone to Indonesia, and we have the very close link. So that is one point I got from Mira's saying about all these clarification of all that. Then comes two other things linked to that. She had mentioned one thing that I don't know from where you got the idea, that country culture represented with national language. Am I right? National language, the word you have coined?
Yes.
Am I right?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, but there are some countries. There is one unique country in the whole world which has no national language. You know which country is this? India is that country.
Ours.
Legally, no definition. What is the national language? Then you say, what are the regional, internationally, nationally defined languages? Then earlier we have 18, now we have 20 languages. So one side you can say in technical sense, oh my goodness, too much diversity. But we have very close link also. Like one word, simply one can say, I love you, namaste. I hate you, namaste. Only gesture change, the same word. Okay? So this way, we have wonderful link. So when we are trying to define culture, two words we can use like this. One Chinese philosopher, of course, alive and settled in the US, you have what he said. What is the basic aim of the study? And then what is this art? So he used to say, very simple, earth is mother of mankind, not man, and E is capital. The earth is mother of mankind. The moment you can add this punctuation from the whole debate in biological science, it is a life phenomenon. And then it is nothing like man as a body. No, mankind, what you have said, Buddha. Buddhi, knowledge, wisdom, expression, service all together. So this is one of the philosophical construct when he tried to say this culture. So other thing is what I have already yesterday said. Why we are too much worried about defining culture? Why not practicing culture? And we can see that these are the broad diversity, and then we can say what are the linkages. So what we call there is diversification, unification, then we have integration. Like simple way I explain your name, and then it got linked with all the aesthetic sense and stories of India. So this way you can say culture is a link. So let me just conclude this aspect. Citing Carl Sauer, a man who was considered to be father of landscape studies. And his lecture was in 1925, which is a classic. In geosciences, most cited till date is that paper, Morphology of the Landscape. Very simple thing he said, that there is nothing like physical world at all. There is nothing like natural world at all. Because we human beings interact and then we explain this is physical, this is culture. Everything is a culture. If you are not there, then where is physical, where is natural? Is we define this. And that's why he said that the core of all the studies, cultural landscape, this whole world is cultural landscape. That was his metaphysical explanation. So that I have given you some perspective to think over that. And already Aditi has cited some of the conceptual practical words from the Indian perspective. So the basic thing is that what is the role of education? Why we give education just only in school? Why we want to just suppress that these are the lines, we are having TSC doctorate and here is the rules like this? Why? That is another question. We never think over that. Do you think that indigenous are people living in interior area, you call them, oh, they are tribals, but they are far superior than yourself because they care of nature. They know each and everything. So the thing is that education for what? So again, we go to ancient truth, then it says there's nothing like branch of knowledge. The whole knowledge is to serve the humanity, to serve others this way. And some of the steps, like I have noted 10 steps from Aditi, several things, particularly that is very good that's going on. But here is one big question. And please excuse me, don't take it otherwise. I have not good experience, I have bad and bitter experience and working as an activist in interior area. That's why I'm saying and asking excuse. That whenever you are talking about big schools and all this program, for whom it is all for rich people, those who can afford. What about that countryside interior area? You call tribal people, okay, go there. They have wonderful knowledge of nature relationship, nature plant, nature healing. Why not that to be also linked? Okay, there are several schools, several centers, they have started like this. So many scholars put their whole life for that one. So that also we have to put. And when you are talking about the UNESCO, we have already full body of indigenous group in UNESCO. They are trying that should go to that one. So that is another perspective to think that nothing like in ideology term, practical term. How many of his schools have adopted some of the very interior, so-called in your terminology, poor beggars, such a school? Rare. Okay. One more example here. Our own city is very famous and propagated also. Nowadays, during the last 20 years, it is not like this, but before that, and still it is called, this is a city of knowledge. The word is Kashi, cosmic light is here. Okay. But in spite of about 200 intermediate means to 11th grade, there are 200 schools here. There are 6 universities here. Okay. Then you have some autonomous colleges here, 20 within the city area. Okay, 2 million population. Not a single school except one. Those who are real doing work for such people, what I have referred. Only one, and a lady, not Indian, US. She got PhD in child psychology, and then mentally so much disturbed, she thought, why not to serve that? What is the use of my all degree? And she started something, school for those involved, like beggars, smugglers, just on the road sleeping, dying, such children. And then you know the fee is only 1 rupee. 1 rupee means you can say 0.00000 like this. And why that 1 rupee? Because they should realize that I have to do something. And anybody not allowed to give some donation directly, no. Because then the child will feel, oh, here is our donation. No. It's self type of way. And no one has supported. My own daughter, since last 6 years, she gave her whole life up in going to that school. She's already PhD, she had published book, but said, no, I never feel like this. I will die, but I will do that. So I am giving you that there are so many good examples we can cite. So what is the lesson? The lesson will be like this, that those schools running such program, they should also take one example to select such area or place. They can say, here is a model where we can serve like this. In many Western countries, we have very commonly, we have. My own study in Sweden, Japan, in Korea, some area of China, I've seen this. But in India, only for big soap. I'm very sorry to say. So that is the second thing I. And concerning that, all some remark, last thing, somehow already covered to Mira and Aditi, that he is defining all those things, taking all the theoretical construction, and then a wonderful person to appraise, critically examine, it is okay. So I think that 2 words are very simple, just to understand. For review, it is good. That can be published in Olimpia's edited book as a very good remark and appraisal. But 2 words that may be taken as a key. The first word will be what he has used, cosmic whole. Second word is like worldview. When we say worldview, not in technical sense of the West, you can say. Of course, the problem is when we put in English and then again let it transfer or translated into the local language, sometimes different. So our duty will be just to put together. Last example I can cite, and then I can close this debate from my side. And that was Mira cited that UNESCO tangible, intangible. Okay? Mm-hmm. I have raised this question in 2015 in Seoul meeting that look, your scale is no way working in our society. Everything is something tangible, everything is something untangible.
Yeah.
How you can say like this? How this is defined? Say you have defined. How you can define everything what Rana is? Could you please allow me that I can say who am I? They all laugh, they say, yes, this is a very good point. Then I say, look, we have always in between something. Example is here. Here is a world famous, it is already UNESCO described, Ram Leela, theater-based Ramayana's story that is coming from, it started in 16th century, but the story is of 3000 BC. Okay. The site is fixed. Okay. All the programs are fixed for 31 days. 31 days continuous, it is all natural phenomenon, nothing like stage. It is real, all natural. to put the tangible, intangible. So why not in between that to be transitory? We have both. How you can say you are the one?
No.
So that terminology, okay, UNESCO people have noted, recognized, but our government, our people said, no, we will follow only UNESCO. So that is another point we have to see, because we are planning something, a very good debate with architectural things in literary terms. So we are discussing, myself and under the guidance of Olimpia. So these are the points I think, and directly, these are so practical things, so nothing to say about that one, what Aditi has said. So we have to feel in our heart and in mind, and then it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rana. Thank you very much for your comments. And now I invite, before Mira and after Aditi, to discuss about the question proposed by Paul Schafer, because for us it is very interesting to understand also your opinion about these questions. Thank you very much. Please, Mira.
To answer the poll question, number 3, right?
Yes.
The question number 3, yes, Olimpia?
Yeah. Yes, number 3.
Let me share a little bit this one, so I can read actually this one, the question of Paul. Given the rapidly growing importance of culture, how do we ensure that a prominent place is open up for teaching and learning about culture and cultures in educational curriculum throughout the world? I will start from the Mexico City Declaration itself. Actually, in 1982, we have been mandated in the relationship of culture with education, science, and communication, section Article 35. Science and technology teaching should be conceived above all as a cultural process. This is mandated in 1982, actually, which develops critical awareness and should be made an integral part of education system in accordance with the development needs of people. That's to ensure the culture is a central part of education. The world is not lack of a policy to put culture, but the question now is actually how now we're making further step action to manifest the above mandated statement of the declaration. I think the concern about Paul, why the culture is not yet become the central part of or integral part of education system is answered by this mandated since at least 40 years ago. Thus, I'm gonna, for me, the Mexico City Declaration, that's the global declaration. But I think in Indonesia, after the global policy, we come up with the government policy regarding the culture. This is make it us easier to us to infuse culture to the curriculum in school in Indonesia. Government policy in Indonesia is the first key and most effective tool, I think, to ensure that a prominent place is open up for teaching and learning about culture and culture educational curricula. Integration of culture factors in the strategies should be ensured by a national law. And in Indonesia, for example, we have the law number 5 of 2017 regarding advancement of culture. This law actually, it is truly allow us to extract and cultivate culture in many, many aspects in a various dimensions. Starting from the annual culture festival, literature, seminar, dialogue, and hundreds of its dimensions come up at the surface of the society being recognized, and with the hope all this effort can awaken people's awareness on culture. From this point on, we continue to extract important topics of culture that we have to put to the school curriculum for children to learn at the early stage. I think the answer is the global policy has been mandated since 40 years ago in the Mexico City Declaration. The number 2 to ensure culture at the central part of educational system is the government policy. So the government policy also on culture allows number 5 in Indonesia as a foundation also for the implementation of Article 50 on the International Culture Cooperation section of the Mexico City Declaration. The conference 40 years ago reaffirmed that educational and cultural factors are essential in effort to establish a new international economic order. I think this is so important also. Sometimes culture being deteriorated by economic or development, right? But actually 40 years ago, the conference has mandated to us that reaffirm that culture and education factor is to establish a new international economic order, not in the way around. So we do put the law number 5, 2017 in Indonesia as the foundation of Indonesia's future development in various aspects of life. Most importantly, allow us to put culture education in school curriculum. Economically speaking, such law can be used to apply ISO on culture to every cooperation to ensure that economic order does not deteriorate cultural values of humankind any longer. I think this is clear, and I have talked to some professor in one of the university in Indonesia. With this law, we can also apply ISO on culture to every cooperation. Thus, for me, to ensure the culture become central part in our educational system is the global policy. It's already there, but has to be followed by government policy. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Olimpia. That's my answer.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you very much, because it is very important for us to understand also the contents of the national law, in these cases in Indonesia, but also to know the contents about culture in different law in the world. Thank you very much, because your comments are very important also to updating the next declaration in Mondiacult 2022. And now I invite Aditi to share with us your comments, your opinions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olimpia. Once again, as Mira has shared, I think governments across the world are recognizing the importance of respecting diversity and culture. In the same way, in India, in 2020, the national education policy has been set out.
Great.
And the national education policy talks in great detail about imbibing culture in all its forms in every aspect of education. We have accepted and agreed that culture is something which the children live. They see it. They don't have to study it. And they enjoy it. So whether it's music, dance, art, food, dress, whatever. Now, how do we make parts of that culture part of the curriculum? That is the question. So intense debate is going on in our country right now to see how best we can integrate the two. How best can we bring culture into the classroom and make teaching learning joyful? So if I may give an example, there's a musical instrument called Jal Tarang. Jal is water and Tarang is music. That has many bowls filled with water of different levels. It's like the xylophone. So when you play it, you can hear music. Now, while doing that, if a child is taught about fractions, that now your bowl is 1/8 full. Now it is 2/8 full. Now it is 3/8 full. He understands fractions. And while doing the fraction, you're teaching them about physics also. That different amount of water means different kind of sound. And then you're creating music out of it. So one small example, one fun element, which has brought so many dimensions into the classroom. So this debate and this research is on in every school. And in fact, we've got groups made where we are sharing our best practice. So if this Jal Tarang has worked well in my school, I share with somebody. Somebody has made a comic strip of a very difficult concept of the laws of motion of Newton. They've shared that. So everybody sharing bits of culture, which has been put together with bits of academics and created something which is joyful and fun-filled for the children. This is in the most practical way possible, I'm telling you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you very much. And now we have 20 minutes
to finish our seminar. But now I invite Professor Rana to share with us his questions in 5 minutes, please, Rana. It is possible, because now I wanted to share also your questions and your contents with Mira and Aditi, and also with our participants. Thank you very much.
Screen, please. My questions are on the screen. On the screen. My questions are, Mira, please get open my...
Yes, yes, yes. Question. I'm doing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, operator, question? Yes, this one.
Yeah, the basic question what I have mentioned, that how to really awaken children. We call it Sansakar, what Aditi has already mentioned, that when we are talking about school, we are also to talk about family, that how family is giving the whole background insight to the child, to think about the environment, think about the whole world. So important thing is awaken children and youth to understand their culture from the family itself. What we call in theoretical context, it start from the locality and then going to the universality. Then we have also to understand the heritage, not in technical sense, but in more philosophic sense, what in Japanese called Ishan. Culture word is called Ishan. What good things you have learned from your own forefathers and going to transfer to the coming people, coming generation, children and their children's like this. So that is the heritage to understanding evolution of mankind. Here I have to add a new movement. It started a few years ago, what is called big history. And big history, B is capital, H is capital, it is not small. And they say that most important thing is that we should know from where we come and where we are in the whole cosmos. This we are lacking. And if we put that one, then that will give a sense then how to protect, how to preserve, how to conserve our own cosmos life. So that is another thing what is discussed like this. And Bill Gates, we all know that $1 billion he has spent in such programs of big history. So already such things are going on. So we have to think over that what program will help to awaken children or youth to understand the basic importance of culture. Theoretically, okay, in November 2015, when we are talking the whole sustainability debate, then culture is coming up like the covering up everything. The important issue, economy, society, and environment, and then there is a big circle covering all that. Theoretically, it is very good. Practically, we have started, like you have mentioned, government policy. Again, the problem will be coming. My own experience in the interior areas, these policies are not going to really serve. There is nothing like any mobile phone in the interior area. There is nothing like internet in the interior. What to do? How to think that at least some portion of that policy orientation program should go to those areas. So there is a big gap in countries like India. So one side is that we are talking something which is already well structured and developed. Other side is something big gap is there. So these are the issues we can think over that, how to make link. So that was my humble submission that you can also think over that and how to make the link. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rana. Now I invite Bening to read the ideas, the comments about Paul Schafer about this question. Thank you, Bening. Thank you.
Okay. Message from Paul on the question number 4 as follows: major breakthroughs in cultural education. What is most needed is making major breakthroughs in cultural education throughout the world. Included here, among many others, are in-depth encounters for all students and young people in their own cultures and those of others. The creation of prototype courses at all levels of education, training teachers properly, recognizing the interdisciplinary character of culture and cultures, and most importantly, establishing culture as a distinct discipline in all educational curriculums in the world. This is what makes reconnecting with the culture and other organizations working in this domain so essential. They are lighting the way and pioneering the path that is needed to make cultural education a reality and a necessity in all countries and sectors of society going forward into the future.
Thank you very much. And now I invite Aditi before and after Mira to share the opinions, comments about these questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please, Aditi.
I'm sorry, I lost the voice. What was the question?
The first
question.
Yes, by Rana.
I didn't hear the question. Can I hear the question once again, please? I'm so sorry.
The simple thing was that
yes.
Okay.
How to make that program awakening real.
Yes. Sorry.
And you have used a very
this
good term
yes.
from family to school. Then how to link that, because you have given, this is very good idea. Sanskar should be start from the root, family.
So again, this is something which many schools do. That is, bring the school and the home together. It has been helped during the pandemic because the school has entered the home. Right? Yeah. The laptop is the school and laptop is inside the bedroom or the drawing room and the children are studying. But before that, what we were doing, children today are very intelligent. They are very sharp and they need to be told why they have to do something. I mean, there was a generation which just followed instruction. This generation questions. So if you can tell them with reason, again, through a play maybe, or through a dance or through drama, that how important it is to continue some of the cultural traditions. Not all. I have never said that we should blindly follow old traditions without questioning them. Some things need to be put away, but some things which need to be questioned must be questioned. And if we can answer the children correctly and logically as to why a certain tradition must be followed, then trust me, they will follow it. Small example again, because I like to give examples. One year we wanted to bring all the grandmamas into the school. Now, how do we bring grandmamas into the school? We had to have a program. So we called some of them who were good storytellers to come and tell a story. And nobody tells a story better than a grandmother, frankly. In my life, I've not heard a better story than from a grandmama. Second thing we did was we called some grandmothers with some nature cures. Many years ago, when a child had a stomachache, instead of running and giving a medicine, they would try something, some herb or some little, some water, some seeds they would give. If somebody had a cough, nobody had an antibiotic immediately. The grandmothers knew what to give. So those traditions we are trying to keep alive, that don't rush to medicines and to things which may harm your body. Go back to nature. Go back to naturopathy. Go back to eating better food. Go back to eating home-cooked food. There is a big case about how important home cooking is, because along with the food, you're also bringing in a lot of love into that. So all those traditions from the family into the home, into the school, and from the school into the home. These are nice bridges which we have created to bring the home and the school closer together and learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aditi. Now, I consider very important to involve our participants in this discussion.
Let me share my presentation. My answer first.
Okay. Sorry, Mira. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm excited to answer Professor Rana, because I share something. I do agree with Paul, reconnecting with your culture pedagogical that you created, Professor Olimpia. I think one of the best method to awaken the children on culture awareness. Then I want to share something with you all guys again. To make it clear, I think I have to share this just to make it clear. This is the question from Professor Rana, and my answer is reconnecting with your culture pedagogical is one of the best methods to awaken children and youth to understand their culture and heritage. This is very true for Indonesian children that participated in reconnecting with your culture workshop last year. They're very happy, they're really aware, and with the proud and confidence, they show their own culture to other friends, even though it's just through online, but they're very excited. They show their music, culture, music, traditional house, traditional clothing. That's why I think reconnecting with the pedagogical that you created in 2020 is one of the best methods to awaken children. Now, as a matter of fact, these old children still communicate with us and they want to another activity, Olimpia. And the second focus point is, since Professor Rana asking about the human evolution, about the culture, that I want to share a little bit about the co-evolution between gene and culture. This is, I think, very important to understand. To understand the function of cultural values in life. Culture is not only about social aspects. Culture also it's connecting, like Professor Rana said, is connecting to all of us, cosmological, and culture is life itself. But most importantly now, culture is already in our genes. Culture is already in our genes, and the co-evolution between culture and genes is the most important part of the human evolutionary process of humankind. For example, why we are not living in the cave again today? Because we make advancement, our predecessor, our ancestor make advancement, and this advancement fixating in our genes and inherited to the next generation. So we don't have to start from the beginning again. Thus, the sacred interconnection between culture and genes throughout evolutionary process of humankind. That's why we have to do it now. Our behavior toward culture. So we hope that next generation will be better generation and will be more fittest with the culture and the self-consciousness inside. Next is the pedagogical. Why connecting with your cultural pedagogical is important? Because let's see the three simple but fundamental steps of this pedagogical. Maybe Professor Rana or Professor Aditi already know, but maybe for the participants, I will explain a little bit. Walking in your city, how to undertake a search, and who can discover with you and tell us your culture heritage. Established in 2020, reconnecting with your culture has been applied in more than 20 nations in 4 continents, continuing sharing and exposing each local culture to the younger generation around the globe. So they really feel what cultural diversity is all about. This is very fact and actual for Indonesian children. And moreover, this is, I think, important to share, reconnecting with your culture pedagogical above all, is contribute to at least 3 articles in the Mexico City Declaration as I analysis in 1982 in International Cultural Cooperation section as explained below. Reconnecting with your culture contribute to the article number 43 about the widest possibility dissemination of ideas and knowledge, like we do together, Olimpia. We share a knowledge, we share an ideas between nations, between continents on the basis of cultural exchange, and encounter is essential to main creative activity and to the full development of individual and of society. Furthermore, it will contribute to the article number 44, more extensive sub-regional, regional, interregional, and international cooperation and understanding in culture matters, a precondition for the achievement of climate of respect, confidence, dialogue, and peace among the nations. That with the reconnecting with the culture pedagogy, we just flowing, respect is flowing. It's not have to be respect, but the respect, the confidence, and dialogue and peace is just flowing through us, through each of us when we talk about cultural. This is the next article. This international culture cooperation needs to be diversified and fostered in an interdisciplinary context. Of course, in reconnecting with your culture, around the globe is a professor, a lot of professor, and from the multi-interdisciplinary context. For example, me is historian and geneticist, and Professor Rana is a professor in architecture, Professor Olimpia in this international context. So for me, reconnecting with your culture is not just awakening the youth and children for awareness on culture, but also contribute to at least 3 articles in the Mexico City Declaration. Furthermore, I want to explain a little bit about the gene and culture co-evolution. I think this should be conveyed to you all. The scientific journal about gene, culture co-evolution, and the nature social by Herbert Gentis in 2011, a behavioral scientist. I think the focus point is culture is both constrained and promoted by the human genome. Human cognitive, affective, and moral capacities are the product of an evolutionary dynamic involving the integration of genes and culture. Thus, our behavior, our culture can enhance genetic changes in individual for the fitness enhance genetic. That after that, the co-evolution between culture and genes, is self-consciousness upon environment to result in and giving birth to human creativity, sense, and initiative throughout evolutionary time. Every advancement of culture is fixating in our genes. That means that humanity keep moving forward and did not have to start all over again from the beginning, because every advancement in life is stored in our DNA, and genes have the capability to be inherited it to the next generation. That's why culture and genes have the same characteristic. Culture is inherited from one generation to another generation. That's similar with the gene. Gene function is to be inherited from one generation to another generation. Correct, Professor Rana?
Yeah.
This is the most sacred, I think. This is the most sacred interconnected about the co-evolution between culture and genes. And co-evolution between culture and gene is the most important part in the evolutionary process of humankind. So how reconnecting with your culture is interconnection to co-evolution between culture and genes. I will be explained a little bit. The first pedagogical is working in your city. This activity means that children have to know and interact with their local environment, which is important in the evolution between culture and genes, because the environment, as I said previously, is the source of the birth of cultural diversity. It is the environment that human culture is diversified. Number 2, how to understand a search. This activity means that children should always be aware of everything around them, wherever they are. This activity is important in exposing adaptation training in a simple way to children. Number 3, that Professor Aditi, I think, already said about his example that bring grandparents to the school who can discover with you. Tell us your culture has talking to parents, brothers and sisters or grandparents is necessary important, as culture is mostly handed down by oral tradition, as Professor Aditi said about the taking the grandparent to the school. In epigenetic, actually, I said a little bit about genetic. This activity is included to a non-germline transmission process that strengthen people on their cultural identity through mind and thinking, leading to accordance behavior. Thus, we can see small thing, reconnecting with your culture is very simple, fundamental step, but it is contribute to the evolution of culture and genes. Thank you, Professor Olimpia. That's from me, the answer from me.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you very much for this interesting exposition, and also about our international pedagogical program. In these last few months, we have organized many important events and programs in the different countries of the world. And let me thank also many presidents from different countries that now participant joined us in this first ResiliArt Reconnecting with your culture. And now I thank very much all speakers, also Professor Aditi, but Professor Aditi must have left this meeting for commitment in the school. And now I invite our participant to share with us your opinion, your questions, also with the speaker about this topic, because it's very important for us to understand and to know your opinion, their opinion, okay? And I look in our participants, also Sagara. Sagara is our president from Sri Lanka. Sagara, are you?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I have no question. I'm rather, observing and absorbing everything from you all. So I learn a lot from, especially from the school project in New Delhi. It's very, very relevant to my country. Also, the India and Sri Lanka, almost the cultural diversity, religion, and other practices are also same. So I enjoy very much. So for the moment, I have the big things to ask, but I congratulate every speakers and other moderators. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We hope to start very soon also in Sri Lanka, because
yes,
it is
why
very
I
important.
told I'm absorbing everything. So very soon I think I can come out with a proposal to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I am also very happy to look in our list, Luna Rabash from Syria. And now I invite Luna, if it is possible. Luna, thank you very much.
Thank you, Olimpia. Thank you so much for this very interesting lectures and seminars, and for everything, as a matter of fact. And I'm really glad and honored to be part of this group, and for being part of Reconnect with Your Culture program. And I think you are really tackling very important subject and issues, and it is very interesting how much cultures are connected really with each other, and how much the basis of these ideas have the same meaning for everybody. When I'm listening to all these presentations and I mean all these ideas, I feel like we are really very well united from one way and the other, and I think really culture is uniting us.
Yes. Thank you, Luna. But now,
thank you.
We hope that you start reconnecting with your culture also with you in Syria, absolutely. Yes. And because it is very important for us to help also the Syrian community, and we are very appreciate your presence today. And now I invite also our president from Morocco, Africa. I see Fatima Zara from Morocco in our from our participant. It is possible, Fatima, also to speak in French. No worry, because for us it is very important to valorize also other languages. And Fatima, do you have here with us, Fatima? I don't know. No, Fatima, there isn't.
Hello?
Fatima with us, Fatima with us.
Bonjour.
Ah,
Bonjour tout le
bonjour,
monde.
bonjour Fatima, bonjour, hi, bonjour.
Bonjour tout le monde. La langue française, the French language is not my native language. My native language is Arabic, so, but and the second one is French. And the third one is English. So my English is not very well, but I will try.
No, please speak in French. Please speak in French.
Okay. It's more easy for me. Thank you. Ange, thank you very much. Alors, je voudrais vous dire combien je suis heureuse également de faire partie de ce programme. Ça fait déjà plus d'1 an maintenant qu'on est ensemble et c'est extraordinaire de voir comment les enfants répondent aux activités qui leur sont proposées à propos de la culture, à propos de leur environnement culturel. Et c'est quand on regarde la joie avec laquelle ils suivent les exercices, on se dit voilà en fait, c'est ça le but. C'est que ces enfants adhèrent à ce programme avec des moyens qui sont ludiques, mais qui n'oublieront jamais. Et je trouve, quand je vois sur les groupes, à chaque fois l'adhésion d'un nouveau pays au programme de Reconnecting with Your Culture, je me dis, c'est incroyable, Olimpia a trouvé le bon projet, parce que finalement, on n'attendait que ça. Comme si tout le monde n'attendait que ce projet. Voilà, c'est parce qu'en fait, ça valorise tout le monde. Et l'univers, le monde est beaucoup plus beau avec la diversité culturelle. C'est ça. Imaginez un monde où nous serions tous pareils. Il y aurait une seule culture uniforme. Ça serait trop triste. Donc, je trouve que la diversité culturelle, c'est ça qui fait que le monde est aussi beau. Et puis ce dialogue qu'il y a entre nous, entre l'Amérique, l'Asie, l'Europe, l'Afrique, je trouve ça extraordinaire. La diversité, elle fait en réalité que nous sommes en même temps des humains et que nous avons tous besoin de cette distinction pour aller mieux vers les autres, pour dialoguer davantage. Et je trouve que ce projet est tout simplement magique, extraordinaire, parce qu'il valorise la pluralité, la diversité, et parce qu'il valorise également les cultures autochtones, les spécificités culturelles de chacun. Et ça, c'est vraiment les valeurs les plus, je dirais, les plus importantes pour réaliser la paix dans le monde et pour réaliser le vivre ensemble et pour réaliser de véritables dialogues sans aucune hégémonie culturelle, sans aucune hégémonie quelconque. Hein, parce qu'on voit très bien maintenant qu'il y a une hégémonie culturelle avec la mondialisation et on a tendance à voir parfois la même chose dans toutes les capitales du monde. Et parfois, c'est triste aussi de voir qu'il y a des spécificités culturelles qui disparaissent au profit de l'hégémonie culturelle. Et donc, j'espère en tout cas que grâce à ce projet, nous puissions mettre en avant les spécificités culturelles et de réaliser la transmission. Je crois que tout à l'heure, les intervenants parlaient de la transmission. Et je crois que c'était Mira, qui parlait. Oui, c'est Mira qui parlait de la transmission dans les gènes, qui parlait de la transmission pour de nouvelles générations. Et donc, c'est vrai que la transmission, c'est la meilleure façon d'assurer un avenir pacifique, un avenir où la diversité culturelle serait assurée, en fait, tout simplement. Je remercie donc tous les intervenants. Je remercie professeur Rana, professeur Mira, professeur Misra. Je préfère monsieur Segara qui a intervenu et je serai heureuse tout le temps de collaborer avec tout le monde grâce à ce projet. Et je remercie bien entendu Olimpia d'avoir permis cette connexion entre les différentes cultures, entre les différents continents. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Fatima. Merci beaucoup. Je suis
Thank you very
très
much,
heureuse.
Fatima, for being here with us.
Je suis très, très heureuse. And sorry, I speak in English because for me it's very difficult to speak in French.
Bien sûr, bien sûr.
But I am absolutely, I agree with you because this program, this international program, Reconnecting with Your Culture, help us to understand the importance of the diversity and to help us to, allows us to involve to children, to community in the world. And together, we can, because it is very important to dream, a better world. And together we can. Together we can. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, Fatima. Merci beaucoup. And in the list, I see also our friend Khalid. Khalid, do you hear us? Khalid? From Morocco also, but I don't know. It's okay. There is also a friend from Japan, Ako Katajiri. Ako Katajiri is our president in Reconnecting with Your Culture in Japan. Ako?
Yes, yes. I'm present.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very proud, honored. Mi scusi Olimpia, posso parlare in italiano?
In italiano, okay, I translate. Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, really? Nice.
In Italian.
Don't worry. Do you speak in Italian? And I translate. Okay.
Amazing.
All languages.
Con accento romano. Ok. Come posso dire? Ma vi ringrazio tantissimo. Grazie, mille grazie. Infatti sono completamente onorato di essere invitato qui. Anche qui e dunque vorrei presentare i miei colleghi Yano-san di, come si chiama quella? Children's Art Network. Yes. Yano-san.
One moment, please, Ako. Ako is very happy to be with us today. And Ako now present also our friend from Japan. And Yano-san, curator of the International Exposition in Tokyo. And director of Children Network from Tokyo.
No, infatti senza di vostro aiuto non abbiamo potuto fare questa bellissima mostra internazionale che ha avuto grande successo. We're so happy. So thank you very much. How can I say that?
The exposition in Tokyo was a very big success. Yes. With the many drawings from the world.
Yeah, in fact, there are thousands of people coming here and appreciated. Yes. So how can I say without So thank you very much. Also from the Yano-san, and there are two staff here, young staff. Also colleague the Yano-san, Deguchi-san, Mizuno-san. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Ryota. Hi.
Ryota.
Konbanwa. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hi. All staff, because this is very emotional for me, because this is all staff from Tokyo for the organization of the International Exposition in Tokyo, realized in December, but also now in February in Koganei and Mitaka, and next month in March in Sapporo. And I thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. And now I invite also our participant in our meeting to share with us their opinions and your comments. I see also in our list Gabriel Caballero. Gabriel Caballero is the coordinator by ICOMOS of our working group about sustainability development goals. And with Gabriel, in these last few months, we work very, very much. We are working very, very much and very, very hard with the many countries from the world, because with Gabriel, we are organizing the next participant of ICOMOS in Mexico City next September from 28 and 30 September. Do you, Gabriel?
So, yes, yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much for your presence. Thank you, thank you.
No problem, Olimpia. I think it's really a wonderful initiative that you've done here. So it's great to, thanks to all the speakers. I actually have a question to the speakers. My question will be, because these are, the ResiliArt events are a means of telling UNESCO a singular message that you want to be put in for Mondiacult. As if you have just one sentence or two sentences, what will be the key point that you really want to explain and out of this event? Thank you. Anyone can answer. It's anyone, please. Yeah.
Okay. Which one? Professor Rana first, or?
Oh, Mira or Professor Rana? I don't know. Mira,
okay.
Start. You.
Okay. From me is to Mexico City Declaration, Mondiacult 2022. I think the point is we have to implement every article in the Mexico City Declaration, not only stated. It only been 40 years ago, but I think the realization of the this declaration is very, very a little, so little. So I think the best way is for the next conference is how to implement this old declaration. That's such a great declaration 40 years ago. That's the key point from this. And we starting from the awakening culture awareness to the younger generation is the point, because the culture have to be known, well aware children about the culture. I think the implementation, please, the implementation of this declaration, no more another declaration, but how to implement the 40 years ago declaration. I think that's the message from me. Thank you.
And Rana, what is your opinion about it?
Already in 2015, when this Sustainable Development Goals constituted all the 17 goals, one sentence is very important. When you put culture as overset of all the three zones, which started in 1987, the Vanderbilt report, Common Future 1987, and now culture has been put all covered. So simple sentence, if you can say, culture is the way to maintain peace and sustainable order for the future earth. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. About it, I invite all participants, all speakers, all participants to read our Tokyo Charter. Tokyo Charter was published last July 2021, and this charter edited by also Paul Schafer from Canada is an important document to understand our mission in the world and above all the significance of this important movement for the education and the culture in the world, to valorize the local culture and to allows the local community to communicate with the world, the local culture, because this is for us the very important mission with this pedagogical program. I thank very much all speakers, all friends, all colleagues from ICOMOS, and also all friends member reconnecting with your culture, also from America. For example, now I see in our list also our president from America, Fabiola Colmonero, also other friends from America, for example, Maria Guadalupe Zepeda from Mexico, and many other friends. And I think all very much, everything very much. I invite Mira to conclude this seminar, because it is very important, because this seminar starts from Jakarta, and let me thank very much Chakra Foundation for all support of the organization, this first resilient debate with reconnecting with your culture and in dialogue with UNESCO. Thank you very much, Mira.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Professor Olimpia. I'm going to conclude this for my point of view. I think this is for my point of view. The first question is about, for me, culture is the power of human self-consciousness. That's a simple conclusion. Second question, a sense of moral commitment that embedded with culture makes culture is relevant in the works of life. This is the question that asked by Professor Aditi. The sense of moral commitment that embedded with culture makes culture is relevant. That's my conclusion. The third question from Paul is about how culture put into central of education system. Number one is global policy is available for culture to embed it into school curriculum, but government policy will be an effective tools to apply it. And fourth question from Professor Rana, my conclusion is reconnecting with your culture is one of the best methods that could awaken children awareness to younger generation, with culture awareness to younger generation, with the perspective of co-evolution between culture and genes in human evolutionary process. That's conclusion for me for the fourth question. I'll pass it down to Olimpia back again. Thank you, Professor Olimpia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mira. And I am very happy because this discussion today was, for me, very emotional and incredible to hear many topics from India, from Indonesia, from Canada, also with Paul Schafer, and from a different country, about thanks our members from the world. And Rana, please, I invite you to share with us your conclusion about this ResiliArt debate, and an invitation for all friends in the world.
So if I will be allowed, quickly I can pass through my slides within 2-3 minutes. If possible, screen share is possible?
Yes.
Possible, sir. Possible. Possible, sir. Possible.
Possible. Okay.
Possible, sir.
Yes. Please.
Can you see that? Can you see?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Almost. Yes, we see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The beautiful picture of you and Professor Olimpia.
Yeah. The great master is Olimpia. I am the great follower.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't consider age or country or language. You have decided all integrated. Just quickly, just
Yes,
going through.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
what happened?
of course. Yeah,
Okay.
you can continue, sir.
That was that I was talking about, that how this cover up come. So he started from 1987, then it came to 2010 and 2015. So it is already clear and accepted that how the culture is going to be cover up of all this. That is the example. There is a school in Shirakawa, Japan. Nothing following the government policy system, rather than that is something unique example based on the nature, using local things, whatever we have discussed, like Aditi giving example, everything they are linked to the nature and they are learning, and now children are making the whole society. This is the way the village has been developed. It's unique in the world. So already examples are here. Religion is another factor. You can see two examples I am showing you. One side is here, Japan, 5 million people going every year, average. Okay? Then if you can use that message, like we are talking this Buddha, that is the concept. And then you can see left-hand side, that is Kumbh Mela, it is already now inscribed in UNESCO. And it has 78 million people that has attended that one in 2019. But just to give that example that we can use that. So let me just, here is what you have talked about, this co-evolution, genes, etc. So already the whole history, if you see the literature, in scientific literature, it has been discussed. Now this organization or this mission is going to make it more clear and useful. That is the purpose. We have already scientific academic platform by such great fellows. Just this is the last. So here are all the fellows are here. Our mission, that this already Olimpia has read this. I'm just putting in a beautiful way that you can feel it before conclusion. That we are here are the 5 elements. We call it the 5 gross elements that make the organism in the whole world. So we are here 5. Okay, Mira is at the center basement, 2 up and 2 down between, and then Mira is there. So her job is more important. Okay, in the basement 2, in the upper side 2, and Mira has to make the control. And the word is Indic, Indonesia, Italiana. So all that it started from Indonesia.
Thank you.
Oh.
and
Beautiful philosophy.
This is the way I can say what Olimpia said. So citing Gandhi, see, once the path is chalked out, the means will follow. So now it is coming up. So our duty is, when we are talking about this whole program of RWYC, what is that? Making that path. That other means are already available. We have to link, and then we will succeed to the goal. Okay, thank you very much. Just to give this. So here you can see at the lower side, all these religions linked together to the main goal. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rana. Thank you. Thank you. And now I wanted to share also with you an important news, because 2016, January 2016, was published an interesting book by Paul Schafer. The book is World Has Culture. And now I don't know if you have cover of this book, but in April, this is an important news that now I share with you. We are organizing a specific seminar about this book with Paul Schafer to sharing in the world the contents. Exactly. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share the cover of this last book from edited by Paul Schafer, The World Has Culture. And in April, we are organizing a specific seminar to share with all people in the world the contents of this book. And now I thank absolutely Paul Schafer for this opportunity, because in this book, Paul tells about also reconnecting with your culture. And this is an important opportunity for all members, all for friends of the reconnecting with your culture. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now our seminar is finished, and I am very happy to share with you all my emotion for this first resilient art promoted by Reconnecting with Your Culture in collaboration with the Chakra Foundation in Jakarta, Indonesia. But I am also very happy to share with the whole people in the world next events about ResiliArt in reconnecting with your culture in the world, because next seminar is scheduled in February 25 in Mexico and promoted by Reconnecting with Your Culture America. And also there are all seminars promoted in Mexico with our friend e-commerce Mexico to open the next Congress Mondial Culture in Mexico City next September. And I thanks all participants, I thanks all speakers, and I hope to share and above all to continue this path with you in the world, because we need your help to build a better world. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Grazie mille. And arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Rana and
Thank
Professor
you.
Olimpia.
Thank you.
Thank you, all the participants. And Bening will be close this seminar.
See you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Ako.
Thank you. All right. I
Thank
hope
you.
you're the best.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Bening.
Mata ne. Mata ne. Yano kun mo mata ne.
Merci beaucoup, Fatima. Merci.
Merci beaucoup,
Arigatou
Olimpia. Merci tout le monde.
Let Bening close this seminar.
Thank you.
Please, Bening.
Yeah, okay. Before I close this incredible seminar, I am honored to disseminate the information regarding the new publication of book from one of our panelists, Paul Schafer. This book is focusing on culture in our world, as we all know, address this topic. His book is entitled The World as Culture, Cultivation of the Soul to the Cosmic Whole, Paul Schafer, Rocks Mills Press, 2022. This recently published book is designed to demonstrate that humanity has barely scratched the surface of the rich potential culture to possess, to produce the foundations that are needed to come to grips with the world's life-threatening problems and create the conditions for a more harmonious, equitable, inclusive, and sustainable world. In order to illustrate this, the evolution of culture as an idea and a reality is traced over the course of human history, and the writings, insights, and ideals of numerous cultural scholars, historians, and practitioners over the centuries are quoted when they are pertinent to the present and prospective global situation. A strong case is made for the fact that culture has serious shortcomings as well as innumerable strengths. As a result, it must act as a real beacon of the future. if its full potential is to be realized by warning people of impending danger and establishing the necessary safeguards and precautions to ensure that culture is used for constructive rather than destructive purpose on the one hand, and illuminating a safe, vital, and viable path to the future on the other hand. The book ends on an optimistic note by calling on people working in all the various areas and fields of cultural life to come together and provide the actions and leadership that are required to make the world as culture a reality and enable it to flourish in the years and decades ahead. This book is available from all Amazon sites throughout the world, as well as Rocks Mills Press in Oakville, Canada. Okay, such incredible discussions that we have today. We hope our seminar can contribute to better implementation of cultural policies, especially in awakening cultural awareness to the younger generation. Thank you to the moderator, all panelists representing 3 continents, and to all audience from all over the globe for attending this seminar. For anyone who is interested to see the video of this seminar, the video will be published on RWYC International YouTube channel and Chakra Cultural Foundation YouTube channel. As closing statement, I will be quote Mahatma Gandhi words. Once the path is chalked out, the means will follow. Until we meet again in another event. Salam Budaya. Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Olimpia.
Thank you
so much.
Now I sharing an interesting message from Brazil in the chat.
Please.
Want to share an interesting message from Brazil.
Please.
One moment, please. This is the message from Brazil. This is our President Sandra Soster from Brazil, and I wanted to share with all this message. Please, Mira, do you read?
I will read it. Yes, this is a beautiful message. Beautiful message. I have tears in my eyes, only you, with your kindness and words of encouragement, could have reunited so many lovely and powerful people from so many distinct countries, cultures, and languages. Amazing. Thanks for this unique opportunity to work in this human network. And when I say human, it is in its pure sense, a network of love and collaboration, working for a better and united future. I feel this project uses the digital world for its essential purpose, get the world together. Only if we look at our interior world and local culture, we may reflect good things to our outside and so diverse world. That's the message, Olimpia. So beautiful
Thank
message.
You very much. Thank you very much. And I thank everyone because today all world participants in this international debate, ResiliArt, and it is a great emotion for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can close our seminar. See you again in another event. Thank you, Professor Rana. Thank you, all the participants. And then thank you, Professor Olimpia. Thank you so much. Let's go move forward again. Okay. Do not stop. Our job still a lot of things to do.
We continue this path together. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we can close. Mungkin Aci